back to my channel. I'm Cynthia, and this is a place where we believe in people, in purpose, and in poetry. So today, I'm here to talk all about how to perform a spoken word poem as another installation in my spoken word series for National Poetry Month. We'll talk a little bit about what to do after a poem is written and finished, and how to get ready for a stage performance. So if you're interested in a few performance tips and learning about how to sound like your favorite spoken word poet, hit the subscribe button down below and stay tuned. So you've written a poem, and now you need to know how to perform it. Whether you're performing it online on YouTube or you're getting it ready for a stage performance, I'd like to share a few key tips that might help you build the confidence to perform. So I talked a little bit in last week's video about how the biggest misconception in performance poetry is that you need to have the poem fully finalized and edited before you begin memorizing and practicing how it might sound on a stage. So just like everyone has a different writing process, I recognize that everyone has a different performance process as well. The tips that I plan on sharing are ones that certainly helped me along my journey, and I hope you take from the tips what actually helps you. So the first step to mastering performing poetry is to begin reciting the words aloud as you're writing. So practice how lines sound with certain words, how some lines sound together. Recite over and over and over. I actually used the voice recording app in my phone so that I can record myself and then actually play it back and hear how I sound. There are tons of editing notes that might actually help you out as a result of performing your piece aloud as you're writing. So because you're actually performing the work as you're writing, you're doing half the work of memorizing the piece as well. Memorization would definitely be the next step in terms of how to perfect a performance piece. Once you've memorized the piece, it's actually easier to use body language in the performance of your piece. That's because you feel comfortable enough on stage. You know the words and you trust yourself enough to communicate the story verbally that you allow your body to communicate the story physically. Now, I'm not totally against reading from a script or reading from your phone while you're on stage, but memorizing the piece allows you to hear the natural pauses as well as the music and the rhythm that's within the poem, and makes it easier to perform. Next, as someone who has been performing spoken word poetry for a long time, as well as sort of someone who participated in mock trial in theater in high school, I'd say a really huge tip to performing well would be to speak slow. So you spent all this time stringing all of these beautiful words together that you actually want us to hear, right? I think sometimes our nerves get the best of us, and when we get on a stage to perform in a room full of people, we start speaking fast so that we can hurry up and get off of stage. But enjoy the stage. Enjoy the time that you're up there. Chances are is that if you're speaking really, really slow and it sounds slow to you, then it sounds normal to the audience. So be mindful of how quickly you're speaking so that your audience can understand you. Next, project what you're saying. So we all have a natural rhythm and tone to our voice that conveys meaning. For example, let's go to the restaurant, or let's go for a ride. I wouldn't say let's go to the restaurant or let's go for a ride, because that sounds boring, right? So make sure that the tone that you're using is optimistic, is sort of high pitched, and is encouraging to your audience. One of the greatest things too about performing your own poetry is that you know exactly how it should sound. You know what message that you're trying to convey to your audience. So trust yourself, speak naturally, and project your voice. So the next tip would actually be to make eye contact with your audience. This might go along with what I was saying a little bit earlier about memorization. But once you know where the natural pauses are, where the emotion is placed, and where the climax of the poem is, you can actually connect with your audience through eye contact when those areas come up in the poem. And you can also trust that your audience will let you know how they're receiving the poem. Specifically in spoken word poetry, there's the familiar snap in the audience, or the occasional when they are connecting with you, but they'll also let you know through their eyes. I love when I'm performing and I look in the audience and someone's look of being puzzled suddenly turns into a look of pure bliss and entertainment, like they finally get it, and that I'm connecting with them in that moment by telling my story. So all in all, it's about respecting your own work, having patience with yourself, and more importantly, figuring out how to perform your poem in the most compelling way. And have fun, right? Like, who cares? You've conquered a fear, you've gotten on stage, and you're performing in a room full of people. Not many people can say that they've done something like that. Chances are, if you're up there and you're not having fun, you're probably doing something wrong. If you have any additional tips, feel free to leave them down below in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe. And more importantly, share this video with someone who you believe might benefit from some of these performance tips. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video.